Hello, Senior Stoner fan. Just a real Senior Stoner back at you for your Magna CARTA dab of the day. Hello, everybody. Today's Tuesday. In about an hour and a half, I'll be heading in for my clinal nerve block. Wish me luck. Had my knee injection yesterday. Let's get to the topic of the day. The topic of the day is the 4 C's. The 4 C's. Ready? Compassion, conscience, conscientious, and consistent. Let's discuss. Compassion. We all think we know what compassion is, don't we? Do you know that compassion is different for everyone? Everyone feels it differently. Everyone provides it differently. So what you have to think about, it's like a recipe. A little pinch of this, a little pinch of that, stir it up, heat it, freeze it, cook it, whatever. It's a recipe. And everybody's got their own recipe. But compassion, because it comes in so many different sizes, shapes, and flavors, and tastes, can really be a source of help for everyone. Compassion is one of the easiest things to have. It takes very little effort. You just have to go, oh, I understand. In other words, you have to kind of say to the other person and be for the other person instead of yourself. Does that make any sense? We're struggling along, whether we're going one step at a time or we're on the hamster wheel of pain, it doesn't matter. Sometimes it's important to just go like this and think about somebody else and have compassion for what they're going through too. Think about this too, people. Those of us that have the chronic pain, those of us that live in it all the time, we certainly have the compassion for people in pain, more so than most people, wouldn't you think? I think what it does is it allows us to have compassion because we know how bad it is. Maybe that's the lesson to be learned with the word compassion. Compassion, unfortunately, becomes stronger when you've experienced a hardship that you're compassionate for someone else about. Conscience. Conscience. Is conscience learned or is conscience innate? What do you think? I personally think conscience is a learned thing. I believe that conscience is where Skinner was right. It's a behavioralism thing. Your environment, you're taught, your parents, your siblings, your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, your grandparents instill upon you in your early years, I really believe, a conscience. A conscience of not just of what is right and what is wrong, but a conscience that ties directly into word number one, compassion. Conscience, think about it. It limits what you can do to somebody else. You have a conscience. You remember what you've done. Okay? Think about it. It's incredible what conscience can do for you. It's also incredible what people without conscience can do. And you know, there are people all over the world that don't have conscience, that don't have compassion. They're horrible people that are focused only on themselves, only on moving ahead, or on achieving whatever their sole lonely goal is. So conscience and compassion, everyone doesn't have it, okay? But those of us that do, we want to make sure we use them properly and help others as much as possible. Well, the word conscientious applies to conscience and to compassion because you got to be conscientious about these things. You got to pay attention. You know, if all I did all day long was kind of smoke weed and not pay attention to anything, it'd be very hard to speak to thousands of people. I don't do that. I'm conscientious about certain things. I'm very conscientious about Senior Stoner. Okay? I'm not conscientious about some other things, but I am conscientious about the things that are important to me and the things that are important to Mrs. Stoner and the things that are important to my family. So maybe that's what defines conscientious. You know, it's definitely in the eye of the beholder because what's important to you might not be important to me and yada, yada, yada. But conscientiousness is a description, I believe, of someone who is meticulous in taking care of things that affect others and things that affect themselves. Maybe conscientious people are neat and fastidious. What do you think of that? Conscientious. Well, the fourth word, consistent. I think I've talked about consistency, but I've talked about it in a different way. What I mean by consistency is, I guess what I'm looking for here is you shouldn't blow up. You know, I'm not looking for people to be vanilla, but consistency simply means you're an okay guy, you're an okay guy, you're an okay guy, then on Thursday you're a motherfucker. Pardon the language. I shouldn't have said that. You know what I'm saying. You've got to find a way, even in the horror. I'm an example of horror, okay? But you know what happens when Mrs. Stoner walks in that door? Consistently. Hi, honey. How was your day? Consistently. Come on over. Sit down. Watch your Hallmark Channel. Consistently. Dinner's ready for her. I get dinner. Consistently. And you know what Mrs. Stoner does? Consistently. Loves me to death. Consistently. Worries about every pain I have. Consistently. Puts my pajamas on the side of the bed folded for me every night warm. Consistently. I know that she's going to be there for me. And consistently, she knows that I'm going to be there for her. So, let's wrap it together. Maybe the last word, consistency, is the key. Because you got to have compassion. You got to have a conscience. You got to be conscientious, but you got to do it. And that's the consistent part. Think about it. The 4 C's. These words are not fancy words. They're simple words. Simple words to spell, simple words to say, simple words to understand. Guess what the hard part is? Doing them. So let's all think about this. There are 4 words: compassion, conscience, conscientiousness, and consistent. How about you pick a word? Pick one and work on it. And then when you're done with that, you pick another one and work on it. And when you're done with that, you pick the last one and work on it. And you know what you're going to find? That by chipping away a little piece at a time, you will put those 4 words together and hopefully improve your state of life. Let's take our dab of the day. That's what I want everyone to do. I want everyone to improve their state of life by using these skills. You all possess them. Everyone possesses them. What do you think of that? You have them. You know, you have to understand how to use them. You all have inside of you the ability to maximize, capitalize on those 4 words. But we don't do it. You know why? Because people get overwhelmed thinking it's 4. Oh my God, it's 4 things. It's not. It's one at a time. Do the best you can and have a great day. And if you like this video, please subscribe. Excuse me. Have a great day, everybody. Cheers.